Okay, and anything else here? Okay, yes it is. So he forgot to put the date, today's date. And also he forgot to put his age. All right, so Mr. Hernandez, how old are you? Okay, he's 47 years old. We put his age. We put the date today. Perfect. So now both of us sign that form. I will log in this form in the system, and also I log in the weight in the system, making sure that the SAR is calculated precisely. However, during the interview, I also would be asking at the end flight attendant questions. On top of the investigating all the yeses there. Flight attendant questions are, we involve the gestures. So I would ask him, have you had any surgeries to your brain, to your eyes, to your ears, or to your heart? On top of all the information he already given me. Sometimes patients forget, sometimes they mix up with something. So our goal is to be very thorough with those type of things and help the patient as much as we can. So at this point, I'm ready to proceed. I take the patient in the locker area. His brother is with him to help him out. And I explain that how important that is to change in the hospital gown. And I also told them that they have to, the patient has to demetalize himself. His brother is not going to the scan room, but the patient is going to. That's why all his cell phone, keys, credit cards, all the metal pins, anything that electronic or metal, loose metal, has to stay in the zone, in the locker area. For that, we provide the locker, we provide the key. He has to lock up all his jewelry, piercing, take out the piercing. He has every single thing, specifically every single thing. So it looks like everything is working great. My patient is very cooperative. He already starting putting his stuff out of his pockets in the locker. So I asked them if they need any help, let me know, and it looks like they're doing great. It looks like my patient is demetalized, is on wheelchair. I will help him in the zone 4. So I unlock the door. I roll him into the zone 4. We already know that the wheelchair is the hospital MRI safe wheelchair. And another thing that's very helpful is that Mr. Hernandez, he is not paralyzed or anything. He can stand up, he can pivot, and here I offered my help to transfer him safely from the wheelchair to the lowered scan table. So for that, I move chair as close to the table as possible, like a parallel with the chair, a little bit like facing the table. I lock the chair. I put the armrest, the one that close to the table. Then I bend over like with my knees a little bit, and grab the patient by the sides and ask him to feel free to hold on to my shoulders. And he said he's totally fine. One arm he actually, one hand he has on the armrest of the wheelchair, so he pushed himself out, up. He is still holding, like, for insurance, my shoulder. Then he stands up, then he pivots, I pivot with him, we kind of like dancing type of thing. And I, on 1, 2, 3, I safely, slowly put him down on the table. And at this point he let me go. I made sure that he is safe. I let him go, and the patient is safely sitting on the scan table. That's what I wanted. At this point, I will explain in every single detail what's gonna happen with the patient and to the patient. So I'll start with that it is a little bit chilly in here. I can provide him with the blankets if he wants. It's going to be pretty loud and uncomfortable at this point. I will give him a hearing protection, earplugs. Also, I will give him a ball, squeeze ball, emergency ball that I already mentioned, that he can use if he feels any discomfort, any pain, so I can come and help him out, resolve that problem. I will explain him that I will put I'll lay him down on his back. His feet will go first in the scanner. I will put the coil around his foot, and we also try to door flex very carefully the foot in the coil. Also, before that, I will put the vitamin E marker on his toe for the radiologist. And the way I do it, it's open wound there, so it's already has a gauze around it, so I don't put anything like marker on the open wound. I put it on the gauze that already there. So we put the foot in, door flex it a little bit, and I put in a lot of cushions to make sure that the foot doesn't move, and it's easy on the patient too. He doesn't have to freak out to control, like not to move his foot. It just be very firmly inside the coil, very comfortably here. I'll tell him that it's gonna be loud, but the test itself is painless. I'll remind him about the tattoos, that he can feel a little bit warm. But if he does, it doesn't happen all the time, but if he does, he is very welcome to squeeze the ball, to call me, to let me know what's happening, and we'll fix that. I'll ask him if he has any questions. He didn't have any questions. I asked him if he is comfortable. I advance him in the scanner. Again, make sure he's comfortable. Remind him that he's not alone. I will walk out of the room. The door will close with the whoosh sound behind me, but there's nothing to worry about. I'm right next, in the next room, and I'm watching. I'm here to help. At this point, I walk out, and the door is locked behind me, the door of the zone 4. So it's time for me to start scanning procedure. Like I said, the special case here is that the patient is complaining about the pain in his toe, and I already put the vitamin E marker for radiologist to mark the place of the concern. So we will be running 3 plane images here: coronal, sagittal, and axial. And every time I will be running the localizer um, for the planes, for the scan. So I'm scanning the ankle. We call it hint foot. Field of view, we make sure that we just take the foot, because we need every single little detail in the picture. So as I said, I use the chimney coil for the patient. I already put it on and packed it with a cushioning. The patient went feet first, supine in the scanner. The visual landmark for this particular patient would be malleoli of the ankle. So those are 2 bumps on the sides of our foot. Inside landmark, we can not see at this point, but if we do everything right, it will be a mortise joint. For the axial sequence planning, I will be using a coronal plane. Now you can see inside the ankle, so I'll see clearly mortise joint with my landmark. I will angle the slice parallel to the mortise joint. Slice coverage will be from the tibia-talar joint down to the plantar aspect. Now I will be doing coronal sequence. For that, I will be using axial plane. Slice angulation will be perpendicular to the medial and lateral malleoli. Slice coverage from Achilles tendon to the midfoot. For the sagittal sequence, I will use axial plane. And of course, again, I run the scout first. The scout is that very low resolution image that helps me just to see the area if I cover everything right. And it takes just half a minute to run, but very helpful. Slice angulation is parallel to the medial and lateral malleoli. Slice coverage from the outer aspect of the lateral malleoli to the outer aspect of the medial malleoli. Between sequences, I will be still communicating with my patient. I will ask him if he is comfortable, if he feels okay temperature-wise, if he needs a blanket, is everything okay, how he is feeling. Also, I will tell him approximately how long we have left for scan, to give him an idea. So now the scan is over. I walk into the zone 4 room, scanning room. I move the table out of the scanner. The patient is still laying on the table of the scanner. I took the coil off his foot. I let him take the hearing protection out. I lowered the table. I help him to sit down on the table and gave him a little bit of time to see if he is not dizzy or disoriented. When I made sure that he is fine, I transport him back to the wheelchair. So that would be just the reverse actions of what I already did. Then he was sitting on the side of the table. We remember that he can stand up, so I will hold him on his sides. I tell him to hold on to my shoulders. He's pretty independent, but I still make sure that I'll help him out. The locked chair is already in the right position by the side of the table. The armrest that is close to the table still lowered down. There's no change there. And he pivots his back to the chair, and we carefully I land him into the chair, holding him, still holding him, using my knees a little bit if I need to bend over a little bit in order not to hurt my back. And it happened pretty fast. He is in a pretty good shape, apart for his painful toe. So I made sure he is sitting comfortably in the chair. I raised the lowered armrest of the chair. I put his feet on the there's like a steps on the chair. I unlock the chair and roll him out of the zone 4. Close my door behind me. I roll him into the locker area. His brother is there. He's helping him out to change back into his street clothes. They take their belongings out of the locker, and on the way out I will approach the patient. I will say, "How you doing, Mr. Hernandez?" He is pretty much happy with the procedure. He didn't expect this to be that long, but it seems everything okay. He just hopes that he heals fast because he is very busy, has a lot of things to do. I thank him for being a patient with us and being so awesome, and also hope that if he knows anybody needs an MRI, to maybe considering recommending us for that. And I think he is pretty happy, and he leaves. But on the way to the door, he asked me if even he knows the doctor supposed to call him with the results, maybe he can actually stay a little bit here and maybe find out prior to that what had been seen in the image. And I reassured them that his doctor would will answer all his questions in like I said, 2 to 3 business days. He did not insist. He was pretty happy, and he left.